Live from our Atlanta-based headquarters, it's Couples Academy Radio with Hasani and Danielle Pettiford, where love is alive, channels of communication are open, and commitment is the name of the game. I'm Hasani Pettiford along with my beautiful wife Danielle, and we're your hosts. So jump in and we'll talk about your life and your relationships. It's a simple call at 347-324-3102. Or go online at couplesacademy.org and click questions and answers. Keep those brief and to the point, and we'll do our best to answer those questions as a part of our show today. Thank you again for joining us, and once again, that number is 347-324-3102. Hey, folks, it is August 8th, Thursday night, 9 p.m., and you're tuning in for another great episode of Couples Academy Radio with Hasani and Danielle Pettiford. Hey, baby.
Hey, Hasani. How are you?
Fine.
Do you notice that I'm talking in my phone voice?
Yeah, and I think I like it.
Do you remember back in the day, like when we first met, how every time you would get on the phone, you would talk with that phone voice?
Yeah, I do.
And you would stay on the phone all night, and it doesn't matter if you call me at like 3 a.m., I always sounded like this.
You sure did.
But what you didn't know is that before you would call me, I would be like, hello?
Hello.
Hey, baby, how are you?
Phenomenal, baby. How are you?
Isn't that deep? But now, like, you know, you're married to your spouse, and you're like, tell him Large Mars sent you.
The truth comes out.
Right.
You put on that disguise, you put on that front, you let them see the best of who you are, then you get married and it all goes down.
But I still try to, I do what I can.
And listen, folks, this is completely unscripted. I did not know that she was going to bring this onto the show. But this speaks to the nature of our relationship. We just like having a good time. But so, listen, thank you for tuning in tonight. This is Couples Academy Radio. We're excited because the entire month of August, we have been dealing with sex. That's right, folks. Sex. And you know what? We're committed to married people having phenomenal sexual relationships because when you look at the statistics, while some are living high on a sexual, plane, there are others that are struggling in the areas of their sexuality. There's so many sexless marriages today. I mean, I know couples that literally haven't had sex in 2, 3, 4, 5 months.
Wow, that blows my mind.
It's like they're living. Listen, if single people ever wanted to know what it really took to be abstinent, all they would have to do is look at some of these married folk. And if married folk ever wanted to know how to put passion back into their marriage, all they got to do is look at some of these singles.
That's true. I think it's discouraging, though, for single folks to actually have to deal with many of these couples because they're like, oh, the old ball and chain. Like, there's always, even television is perpetuating such a negative stigma for marriage. We have to combat that.
We really do. We really do, and that's what Couples Academy is all about. Listen, we're going to quickly share with you this entire month for those that have been tuning in through the radio show with the Audacity of Marriage, the new webcast series that we have, and those following us on Facebook. As you know, the first week we've dealt with his sex needs and her sex needs. If you haven't heard that, I want you to go back and listen to the archive because it's really going to bless you. Tonight we're dealing with the challenge. Now listen, starting on the 12th through the 18th, we're having our 7 days of extraordinary sex challenge for married couples.
Yes.
And when we first started, at least I had a goal of 50 couples. I said, if I can get 50 couples to commit, I think that we would have done, we would have reached a milestone. But as of today, we have over 200 couples from all across this nation and abroad.
And I'm going to tell you, Hasani, I don't mean to interrupt you, but the reason why it's 200 couples is because some of our couples have not started with the passion of sending it out to all their friends and family because trust and believe there's a lot more couples out there that want some 7 days of extraordinary sex. They just ain't heard yet. So come on, people, we need you to share this because we need to ignite a flame of passion in marriages across the nation. So we need you to put some effort into this. If you're with us and you listen to what we're doing and you support us, we need you to share what's going on at Couples Academy.
That's right. And so tonight we're actually going to be walking you through what the next 7 days, when we we start the challenge are going to be like and how it will have a significant impact on your relationship. Next week, we're talking about overcoming sexual problems in your marriage. I'm going to tell you something. There's so many people who are suffering in silence and don't know how to communicate with their partner, or have, but there's been no change. There's been no improvement. And so we're going to deal with the typical challenges that people face and how to overcome those things. The following week, we're going to be talking about a hot topic that it seems like everybody likes to talk about, and that's infidelity, sexual betrayal, and how to recover from it. You know, it's one thing to talk about, you know why people do it, but we're here to help relationships restore. So we're going to talk about how to recover from infidelity. In week 5, the last week, another hot topic, we're going to be talking about pornography, the porn effect, and how husbands, wives, and children are affected by pornography. And so all month long, we're talking about sex. We're giving great tips and tricks and techniques that will really enhance your relationship. Listen, I just want to remind you all that every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our Audacity of Marriage live call-in. And so if you're single, in a relationship, or married, and you're looking for answers to those challenges that you're dealing with in your relationship, call in, because we have real talk about real topics.
And we're streaming live from Facebook and from our website. So I want to make it clear that it's not just a call-in. You can actually go on our webpage, go onto our Ustream page, and you can see us talking about it and really dealing with these issues live. So participate.
Absolutely. Listen, there's a couple things coming up we want to quickly announce. This September, as you know, Power Couples University is launched. And so you can enroll right now. Simply go to couplesacademy.org, figure out what class you want to take with your partner to enhance your relationship. Not everybody is into counseling. It just doesn't work for everybody.
Right.
You need 2 willing partners.
Right.
But this is something that people really are jumping on. They love the idea.
You know why? Because it's private and it's personal. It's none of your business.
That's right.
And a lot of people, especially men, have an issue with sitting in front of somebody and having to reveal all of their issues. They know that they're going to get beat up. Men know they're going to get beat up in the counseling session. They don't want to hear it, especially from another man. But if you can go someplace where it's discreet, it's between you and your wife, you and your husband, it's way more appealing to many, many people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, I'm excited because also in September, we're actually launching another Couples Academy chapter in Durham, North Carolina.
Yes, I'm so excited.
We're having a launch party on September the 6th, so if you're in that area, we would love for you to participate. It's going to be a powerful, powerful evening, and you can connect and be a part of our community, not just virtually, but in the flesh.
Yeah, if you missed our first launch, and so many people who did miss it really kicked themselves for missing it. We told you it was going to be off the hook. Don't miss this one coming up. You will not want to miss this event. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do some of the same things that we did, but a little bit of a different twist because it's a different group, but you're going to have a great time, so make sure you come out.
Also, September, we have the reality show Husband Hunters that I'll be featured on. I'm excited about that.
Are we doing a watch party, baby?
We're definitely going to do a watch party. So as we get that information, we will share it with you so that you can tune in the night that we'll be on so that we can discuss and have a celebration about what's happening. Listen, we've gotten all that out the way. Now we can get down to business.
Can we get down to it?
Oh, we're going to get down to it when the challenge starts, but I'm talking about the radio show right now.
Oh, okay.
So, as you know, every week we get calls, we get emails, we get texts from individuals who are going through in their relationship that are looking for an answer. And about a few hours ago, before we started to prepare for tonight's show, I got an email, and I'm simply going to read it as it is. I quickly read it, and I want to read it and go into this in depth. It simply says, I recently discovered one of your interviews on an Atlanta Christian program about infidelity. As such, I have an issue where I'm living in the Caribbean with my husband for 15 years, and for most of that time he has been unfaithful to me. I have confronted him officially, and he still denies it, and despite the concrete evidence that I present. How does one overcome this if their spouse will not admit to what they have done? We have 3 children. My 15-year-old daughter found the evidence also. So she's seeking help. Danielle, how would you respond to this particular caller?
You know what? I'm going to tell you like this. There's 2 sides to every coin, right? So I got to look at both sides to make sense of the situation. It sounds like to me that she may want to save this relationship. The other side of the coin is she doesn't. But if she didn't want to save this relationship, why would she be contacting us? So I'm gonna bank on the fact that she may want to save this relationship. The guy has not been willing to admit his wrong. He is not acknowledging that he's been caught cheating. So that's the problem right there. But if she's still committed to be in this relationship and she doesn't want to give up, she's got to get counseling. Why does she need counseling? One, because if she doesn't get counseling, she's not going to know how to react and deal with this man that's in this house, that's doing his thing and not open to change. Two, she needs a place to be grounded. She needs advice. I think that as far as her saving this relationship, it's going to take forgiveness. That's where you start, forgiveness, because you can't be in a relationship with somebody, begrudging the person, angry and pissed off, mad. Now there's no benefit to that. She's got to get counseling. She's got to start with forgiveness and start taking steps to get healed in that relationship. But that's hard to do when the person doesn't want to acknowledge they're wrong. Most people are walking, but there was a story of a man in the Bible who had that wayward wife, and every time she would step out on him, he went back and got her. So there are some people that are in that situation that aren't going to leave, that are going to deal with it. It just depends on what she wants to do.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head when you say we really have to first deal with what she wants, because this is something she's been dealing with for now many, many, many years. When the children get involved,
that's the bad
part. When the
part.
children begin to witness a lot of the indiscretions and have physical, tangible, touchable, concrete, and real proof, it takes it to a whole other level.
Especially if, she didn't mention how old the daughter was, but if the daughter found proof and evidence, that means she's an age of understanding and accountability.
She's 15 years old.
Oh, did she say 15?
15 years old.
Okay, so she's 15 years old. The girl is probably seeing her dad out in the street acting a fool. At this point, now what we're dealing with is straight brokenness, and now what we're dealing with is somebody that is actually causing negativity to affect the daughter. Now, she's growing up seeing this is acceptable, my dad to be stepping out all over the place with my mom, and she's going to sit here and deal with that. There needs to be some intervention, maybe a separation, definitely counseling, and then, go from there to figure out what they need to do.
Now, I will say in this situation, no man is going to want to go to counseling if he hasn't even admitted that he has a problem. He's not even admitting that he's cheating. So counseling is definitely something that a couple should do, but in this situation, she may have to do something different. She can go to counseling, and let me tell you something, folks. All it takes is one person to save a marriage. It does not take two. I am evidence of that because I was willing to change and make differences in my own life. It affected Danielle.
Well,
so if you're thinking about, I need to change my spouse, I need to change my husband, I need to change my wife, no. There's a phrase that we have learned that we continue to use, which says, my spouse is not my problem, my sin or my shortcomings are my problem. So in this scenario, the husband's cheating. So obviously he's doing something wrong. We can acknowledge that. However, we got to ask that woman, why are you in this relationship for 15 years enduring it after you've presented the information, knowing the effect that it has on the children?
Right.
You've got to make a decision. So when you make a decision to change, you will force that man to respond to your change, thus making him change.
Yes.
So you mentioned separation. That can be an awesome thing because if a man can cheat on a woman over and over and over and over again and there are no consequences for his actions, what motivation does he have to change?
Right.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
So in essence, she's got to grow a backbone. She's got to be willing to see. A lot of times women stay in relationships just like men because of finances, because of children, because of low self-esteem. They don't feel as if they can do better if they leave that situation. They feel trapped. There's 1,001 reasons why people stay in horrible relationships, but when you're in those scenarios, you have to build up enough courage and enough esteem within yourself and begin to work on your game plan.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not something you can do right now, but if you work on it and work towards it, you can position yourself to get back up on your feet and to separate, because separation doesn't mean divorce.
Exactly.
Separation means we're separating from one another so that we can get ourselves together, clear our minds, clear our emotions, and figure out what we're going to do next.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about her, and I'm thinking about how she also needs to just take care of herself. I mean, just imagine the brokenness that she's feeling in a situation where she's married to a man, her daughter's seeing how trifling he is, and he's not willing to admit or change. Now she's got to take care of her heart, and that starts on your knees. in the face of God.
Yes.
And that's really where she needs to go with that, because everything that she's dealing with on the outside, it doesn't even matter. He's cheating, whatever's going on and falling down around her. She needs to go within, because that's where her peace is found, in the spirit. So she needs to go and find that peace within her. There was a story that someone told me a while back about about a man that was kidnapped, and the military had kidnapped him, and he was being tortured, and they were doing all kinds of different tricks and things on him. No anesthesia. He was in so much pain. And there were 3 of them that were trapped, and he was, in his mind, he went away. He basically started imagining himself telling this story some later date in a university, and he imagined himself getting out of that situation. So he basically removed his mind from that physical situation and went to within and used his faith to pull him out of that situation. And he actually did see that come to pass and was at universities teaching and talking about what he experienced and how he made it through. So in essence, it really doesn't even matter what's going on around her. He could be trifling, everything falling down around her. But if she gets on her knees and she goes within, she could pull herself up out of there.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. So I hope that helped you as well as the other countless individuals who are listening now who are going through that same situation. And if you need more counsel and more instruction, feel free to go to couplesacademy.org, because we do provide marriage and family counseling to those that are seeking that, as well as to singles too. But we're really committed to couples and really helping them to have a phenomenal marriage. And so, listen, we're talking about the 7 days of extraordinary sex. Now, tonight is Thursday night. So there, I believe, are 4 more days before we get started.
Are y'all getting ready? Ladies, listen, let's keep it real. We know this is not a challenge for the men. For most men, we know this. I just want to let you know, I feel you out there, ladies, that are in the bathroom with the door closed, looking in the mirror, saying, how am I going to do this? He gets on my nerves. But I'm telling you.
Are you telling on me?
No, baby, I love you.
Okay.
I'm telling you that if you press towards the mark, if you do this and put 100% passion into it, have fun with it, drop down your walls, let your guard fall down. See, the issue is that we have so much ego, and we allow that ego to hinder us from moving forward in things. He got some nerve saying that to me last year. I'm going to hold on to that. I remember he said that. I ain't going to forget it. Let it go, because all you're doing is hindering your own passion. You're sitting there miserable, wondering why you're not feeling passion, wondering why you're not in love, wondering why everything just seems so sad and sorry and boring. It's because of you, and it's because of him. But you can't point the finger at him. You can only point the finger at yourself, because you're the one holding on. So I want you, all you ladies that struggle and have an issue with intimacy and are just guarded and just can't figure out how you're going to do it, got to have the mind talk, I want you to put 100% passion into it these next 7 days. Just put everything you have into it and test it to prove that it's true.
And this is going to be an amazing experience. Listen, if you think about a rocket ship, whenever a rocket is taking off and entering into space, it burns up 80% of its fuel just lifting off. But then once it takes off, it can. I think the rest of that trip can rely on the other 20% of the fuel. So the purpose of the 7 Days of Sex Challenge is to really, you want a launch pad that will help you leap into a phenomenal sexual relationship with your partner. So we're asking you to commit to 7 days. Now, the biggest challenge is getting you to be consistent in doing it for 7 days.
Yeah.
So the upfront agreement to be consistent and to complete the assignment is critical. So I'm not trying to hear your head hurt, your toe hurt, your leg hurt.
I got my mind on and headache. I got everything.
I don't want no excuses.
I ain't got no headaches. I got my coffee. I'm good.
Okay.
How about you, ladies? How about y'all?
So listen, every single day, and in order to do this, you may even have to take out a calendar and schedule when is the most appropriate time during that day or evening for you to come together. Because if you have children, if you have different type of work hours, all types of scenarios, meetings, church service, anything could get in the way and be used as an excuse to keep you from being committed to each and every night.
But I want you to keep an open mind. Don't get out of the monotony. Don't think of it like, oh, I have to have it in my bed at 10 o'clock at night. No. There's 24 hours in a day. There's the morning, there's the the afternoon. There's before work. There's after work, right in between dinner. There's all kinds of times. You just need to make it happen. It could be 5 minutes. It could be an hour. Just get it.
5 minutes?
Well, I'm just saying, hey,
okay.
Some folks, 5 minutes, an hour, whatever you got to do, get it in. Just make it happen.
Listen, so what I want to do is give you a foundation of what is going to happen over the next 7 days. Understand that it's not just about the sex, but what about the sexual union and what it can do for your particular relationship. It should help elevate you emotionally, bringing you closer together, helping you to become one. So there's certain things that we need to do. So for all of those who have signed up, and for all of those that have yet to sign up, the first thing that we're going to do is send you out through email a manual, and it's going to explain what you need to do throughout the course of the 7 days. Number one, we want each of you as an individual within that relationship to sign the 7-day sex challenge commitment form. So you're actually writing out and signing in an agreement with your partner that you're committed to 7 days of sex.
Right.
But listen, one of the challenges is when you've been with someone long enough, sex can sometimes become boring. It can become predictable. You have your particular ways of doing things. You have your routine. And so we want to help you break up the monotony of the sexual experience. And so each day we have a different theme that if you allow it to guide and govern what you do for that day, it'll put the passion, the spark, and the creativity back in. So just to give you some examples, and this is in no particular order, and it's a guide for you.
Which means that you could take it or leave it or, you can alter it, but, it's a guide.
Right. Now, as we've talked about on last week's show, men love women who initiate because every man wants to be wanted and needed. So on one particular night, the woman takes the lead.
Oh, Lord, y'all. Oh, Lord. Now, somebody on Facebook said, got to get to Victoria's Secret. I know that's right, girls. Get to Victoria's Secret. Stop playing.
So women take the lead, and what that simply means is not just saying, all right, babe, I'm ready to do it with that nasty attitude and you're hesitant. No, you want to be excited.
Okay.
You want to play it out in your mind before it even happens. Set up the scene, set up the mood, whatever works for you, whatever you know that he likes. Listen, I'm just going to quickly read to you what I have written down. It says, husbands love it when women initiate. But the thing is, women, you don't want to do for your man what you would want done for you. You got to get inside your man's mind and think about what he would want done for him. And you want to fulfill his fantasy on that night. So it's a great sexual experience for him. And then another night, the man takes the lead. See, women love romance. Women love candles. There's many things that women love, and you're a woman, so take the time to do what she would want done. If it's a unique position, if it's in a particular location, whatever works for her, that's what you want to do. But now to get more creative, let's just go to day 3. There's a concept called May I Take Your Order sex. Now, if you've ever been to a restaurant and pulled out a menu, you would have to select what meal you want from that menu.
Right.
And that menu's broken up with drinks and entrees, appetizers, desserts. And so you have to look through that menu to select what you want for dinner. Well, you can have a sex menu, writing down every type of sexual position.
Well, you do it together, right?
You're going to work on this project together. And so, when you get this manual, it will explain what you need to do to prepare for that night. See, this is something that you have to start.
I think that's such a cute. I like that idea. Maybe you take it to the next level and make it really nice and have it laminated and just keep it.
Absolutely. Another night, it's really important to know that you can step outside of your bedroom.
Right.
You don't just have to have sex in your bedroom. So it could be in another place in the room. It could be in the great outdoors.
Well, there's snakes in our backyard.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to have it at the beach, on a rooftop, in your car, whatever could be exciting and thrilling, in the park, late at night.
But don't get arrested. But these are just suggestions, just be free. Just be open and free.
Another night would be date night sex. Now, when's the last time that you were actually out on a date with your spouse?
Oh, my God.
Dealing with kids and babysitters and budgets, you don't often get a chance to do anything quite romantic. But creating the atmosphere in an evening on a wonderful date and then finishing it off with a wonderful sexual experience, there could be nothing better than that. Another night could be role play. how many times have you had sex with your spouse where you've actually played a role and gotten into the, the whole acting bit? So that's something you can do. All of these things are clearly spelled out.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is this: no matter what you tend to do on each given night, the key is this: we want to help enhance your relationship. So there's a document that we're going to provide you with that is entitled 77 Questions to Get the Conversation Started. And each night you're going to be entering into dialogue with your partner. So one night you're going to be having emotional intimacy questions, another night intellectual intimacy questions, that third night spiritual intimacy questions, the fourth night recreational intimacy questions, the fifth night financial intimacy questions, the sixth night sexual intimacy questions. And by addressing these issues and these questions and these topics will really bring out areas of your relationship that you may not have given focus to. Remember that book that we used to read and love, Intellectual Foreplay, Questions for Lovers and Lovers-to-Be?
Yeah.
Wasn't that an awesome book?
It was really great. I love that book. I would say, though, just stick to the lighthearted conversations. Don't touch on things that you know is going to, tick somebody off. You know those hot areas that you just really don't want to talk about during those 7 days of sex. So just make sure that whatever conversations you get into, use these examples as a guide, but whatever conversations that you do get into, make sure that it's going to create that atmosphere that you're looking for, whether it's on his night or her night, whatever night it is. Just make sure that what you don't want to do is cause anybody to feel bad or angry about something. So make sure you're careful about that.
Now, after the 7 days, we want to be clear that this is the beginning of a whole new life for you. So we're not asking you to have 7 days of sex and to go back to the same monotony.
Oh, for real?
Oh, not at all. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to have sex every single night, but, statistically, the average American family, or marriage, I should say, has sex generally 2 times a week. That's what the statistics suggest. And so we're going to be giving you resources online and through email for those who have signed up, websites to go to, all types of things to really spark your relationship once this challenge is over. Now, there's a great book that we recommend called 101 Great Nights of Sex. And it's 101 days because it suggests that if a couple engages in sex twice a week, half of the book is dedicated to what a man needs to do to a woman sexually, and the other half is what a woman does to a man sexually. And if they each take their page out of the book, rip that page out of the book, and do what the instructions suggest do in this sex book, you will have the most exciting sex, the most creative sex that will never get boring, that will never get mundane, and you'll be looking forward to it.
Now, Hasani, I'm so excited about that part because, if I lack creativity and any ideas and stuff, I could just rely on that book. Just rip a page out and it's telling me what to do. All I have to do is follow it. That is exciting. That's like really easy, the easiest way to do it.
And so it's all about allowing this to be a springboard to take you into a phenomenal relationship for the rest of your life. So it's more than just the fun and exciting aspect of sex, but what the sex will do to rekindle the passion, the emotional connection, the communication that you need to have with your partner. So listen, as we wind up, because our show is almost over.
Is it really?
Yeah, we're almost over.
I wanted to tell everybody that, listen, we know that you're not all in the Atlanta area, unfortunately, but if you are, we want you to come out to the Couples Academy Aphrodisiac Food Tasting, which is going to be on the 31st of August. But and it's going to be at the Duluth chapter. You can go on the website and find out about it. We're going to be serving aphrodisiac foods. We're going to have aphrodisiac music and scents. It's just going to be a really awesome atmosphere. You're going to be sitting at a table with your spouse, 1 plate, 2 forks, and you're going to be feeding each other, and you're going to be learning about these aphrodisiacs, and we're going to break down with our guest chef. The chef is going to break down why these aphrodisiacs do what they do. So come out to that. But if you're not in the Atlanta area, you can take your own initiative to go to the supermarket with your spouse, go to Whole Foods and explore foods. Like, what is wrong with you exploring some foods, picking out some things, and going home together and cooking something aphrodisiac? Do it naked. Who's going to stop you? So have fun is what we want you to do. We want you to learn how to think outside the box and experience things that you used to experience. Well, you probably shouldn't have been experiencing before you were married, but you know you was. But anyway, we want to take it back, right? We want to take it back to the way it was. So that's what this is all about, and we're excited about it. We want to bring you in on it.
Now, this is our first annual 7 Days of Extraordinary Sex Challenge, we were able to get over 200 couples this year. We're shooting for 1,000 couples next year because I know that
that's going to be easy.
Yeah, this experience is really going to do a whole lot. There's going to be a whole lot of testimonies that come through. And for those that have signed up, you are a part of a special group on Facebook, a closed group, and every single night, every single day, listen, share with the other partners, share with the other couples what you did that night. Now, I don't mean talking about the intimate details of what you and your partner did behind closed doors, but talk about, you know, what it did for the relationship, how it sparked things up, you know, how it's beginning to bring you two closer together. Because as you share your experience, it will encourage and edify others to continue to go through this process.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, we are won over by the testimonies of other people. So when we're strengthened by what others have gone through, it will enhance all of our relationships.
It's so true. You find out when you come to these meetups and you start talking to other couples, you really find out that you are not an island, that we're all going through this. Oh, we all never were told. We all walked into this thing blindly, and all we got to do is find out how to make this right? Cool. So just bring out your friends, bring out your family, bring out your pastors, bring out whoever, bring them. Because everybody can stand to learn how to strengthen their marriage, especially with all that's going on in society right now.
We have 4 more days, folks. Listen, if you know other couples that definitely want to get involved in our challenge, send them the link. I'm going to be posting more information, sending emails out to get us started. Listen, we're going to have a phenomenal time. And listen, we are going to lead the pack in changing the course of our relationships, which will change the course of our communities and our nation at large. Thank you for tuning in every single week to Couples Academy Radio. Get ready for this Sunday because we're going into the second episode of the Audacity of Marriage that we're really excited about. So not only can you hear us by calling in, but you can see us live streaming on Facebook, on our website, and many other platforms that we're going to have available to you. And another thing that we're excited about before we close, listen, we're not ministers. We are not pastors. We don't have any official position with any church, but we do believe in the power of prayer.
Yes.
And there's so many individuals who are suffering in their relationship that just need somebody to pray with them and pray for them. And so in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be announcing that we're going to start something that is really going to grow by leaps and bounds, where we take the time to not only pray for your marriage, but marriages in general, because there is an attack on the family, and the enemy wants to do nothing more than to destroy the foundation. And guess what the foundation of every family is? The relationship that man and woman have with one another. As I always say, the best gift that you could ever give your child is the relationship that the husband and wife have with one another, because children learn through observation and participation. It's not so much by what you tell them, it's by what you show them. And when they can see happy couples who are committed for life, it will have a powerful impact on their relationships when they enter into adulthood. Let's break the curse, folks.
Yes. Oh, my God, I love that you said that.
Divorce is running rampant, and we're attacking the spirit of divorce. We're attacking the spirit of infidelity. We're attacking pornography. We're attacking anything that would try to rise up and to get in between our marriages.
Amen.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say let's all unite in prayer, because the enemy doesn't want marriages to thrive. The enemy wants the destruction of marriages, and so anytime anybody's coming up against that in defense, there's going to be all kinds of stuff breaking out. So make sure, folks, that you are covering us in prayer. We're here standing in the gap for you. We want you to stand in the gap for us. There's a lot more that's coming. We have so many amazing plans for you and for marriages and for families. So just stay tuned, folks.
Listen, in the next couple of weeks to October the 11th through the 12th, we have our Couples Academy retreat. We have 2 spaces left. There are some of you who are on this call right now that need to be at this retreat, and I'm telling you, it is one of the best experiences that you could ever have. It's $550, which is an awesome price to pay for an entire weekend experience that will literally transform your life. As Danielle has talked about, the average wedding costs anywhere, I think it's around $25,000. The average divorce is over $50,000, right? To put your money in your marriage.
Put your money where your marriage is.
In your relationship, you will reap a return.
And enjoy it.
That's right.
Because I'm so happy I'm married to you. I'm such a blessed woman.
Thank you, babe.
And you're a blessed man.
Yes, I'm definitely going to be when the 7 days get started. But we want to thank you for listening to Couples Academy Radio. We'll see you next week as we continue our series on sex during Sex Month. See you next week.
Bye,
Love
y'all.
you.
Blog Talk Radio.